She is the straw that stirs the drink. Alright, so I've gotten this a couple times where people ask about how I go about organizing inventory. I'm gonna start over here and show you. These are all unlisted. You can see they're organized. If you look at the little dividers, they're organized by year and product and by sport as well. And so these are stuff I pull from to scan, but they're not listed yet. But you can see they're already pre-organized. So my wife, who's over here picking orders at present, our listed inventory, which it's over there, basketball, football, baseball down low, miscellaneous box, but it is all also already pre-organized by sport and then product, and then if there's enough of the product by year, you can see like tops, it's all listed by tops and the year. But if it's just, if I only got 10 or 20 cards of, let's say, you know, prestige or optic, don't have enough optic to what we do. We actually got, so that's what we do sometimes when we've got several MISC years, but not enough for one whole product lineup there. Then we will just put a generic optic or generic select. But then we got enough of 21 optic football to have its own section. So that's kind of how we do it. And then something that we introduced recently was, so she started helping picking because it helps me, frees me up, and I do all the shipping. But we throw it up on the screen, I cast it onto the TV, which is, I'll step back a little bit so you can see, process a little better. I do got a light on there because the lighting is weird in here. But so she'll look back, and that way I'm not having to call them out. She can just look back and she can go and find them. And then we can, because sometimes if I'm picking by myself, then I can't find it, then I got to call her out here, ask her for help to go back through it. If I'm sitting at my desk here and she's picking and she's having difficulty finding one for some reason, then we can start collaborating on where it could be. But having this stuff organized is the absolute clutch. I mean, that's even your own unlisted inventory. Just being organized is super clutch. Just a couple more little things I wanted to notate while we're in here. So there are a few exceptions to like having it organized by product and year and all that. Like for instance, I got this MJ, and so that right there is a stack. That's all MJs. And this used to be just darn near a whole row. That's how much MJ I've got. If you look down in baseball, we've got a Pujols. She didn't put the S on there, but Pujols has his own Jeter. Jeter has so many Jeters that I separated by product. So upper deck Jeters and tops Jeters and Donruss Jeters. So I bought a collection that had lots of Jeters in it. So I found that, you know, superstars like that, they get their own little section. That just reminded me, like there's a MISC, and this is stuff like Classic 4 Sport. It really doesn't go because we've got a MISC Panini. So some of Panini's random products that they just go in this ones we don't have enough of. For some reason we don't got enough Mosaic. So Mosaic doesn't have its own because I don't scan a lot of Mosaic, those kinds of products. But yeah, so there's MISC. So I mean, this could be done any way you want. My wife was reminding me and saying as she was leaving after picking this morning that this thing is always ever evolving. It's always getting more refined. And if you notice, we got autos, so this little section is all autos. We just decided it was better for each sport to have its own. There's autos for football, to have its own auto section. And so sometimes we'll do this. We'll make a section for autos, but some of them will be mixed in. So that's when it does get a little confusing when picking. When you go to the autos, they're not there. Well, this got put after such and such's auto was already put in this stack. Sometimes you get that, you run into that. That'll be like the only thing, you know, during the evolution of it that occurs. I mean, we're organized enough where we always find a card if we have a bit of confusion, but staying organized is, I say, it's just as essential in the ability to do this properly as any other item other than having inventory. Having good inventory is numero uno, and then other than that, it's you know, being organized, and then it's, you know, getting stuff out fast, getting your orders shipped out fast, along with having good customer service with dealing with people. So you got all those kind of factors built into a online business, you're gonna be doing okay. This misc box here, it's just a little hodgepodge of everything. There's like sets, player lots, sealed wax, current auctions. There's some other autos, like a lot of these Sage Hit autos are in here. So see what I'm saying? This misc box can be confusing, but because we pick out of it every day and we kind of know where everything is, it makes sense to us. And this might not work for you. At least it will enlighten you on how we do it, so you could take maybe some of the things we're doing and implement them in yours, but also maybe do it even better. Hopefully do it even better. So anyway, that's just a couple things I wanted to point out here with this again. All right, so we're pretty much wrapping up this video here, but I did want to bring in and introduce my wife. You'll see her in the comment section sometimes, Life of Smack, but Stephanie. She goes to shows with me a lot of times when she can. She is the straw that stirs the drink. She's the one that, well, I'll get collections. The nice thing about this recent one, you can't see it, but it's up here. It was already pre-organized by sport and mostly by product and all that, but I'll get boxes and I'll hand them off to her, and then she does her thing with them. We've had systems put in place on how we do it, but then it evolves. Like we changed, and recently we did all back by team. We had done it by team, and then we undid teams, and we did by product and year. But anyway, I wanted to introduce her. Maybe she could give a couple of insights on how she does it on the back end before they get listed.
So, like he said, okay, so you guys have seen the shed, and it's very small, so we can't generally do a whole lot of working in here together on the pre-process point of it. So I do that in the house, and I have created a large piece of cardboard that literally has all the teams on it for different sports.
All sports.
So, yeah, all sports. So if I'm going to divide by sports, then they're just alphabetized, and I can just sit there, go through a box, and just stack them up. Other than that, we generally do by product and year, and so I can do that really easy. He just tells me what is most important. He's like, do this box, because I really don't know outside of that. And then he just will kind of pick through it and cherry pick like the best of the best, and then he'll get to the rest of it later. And then on the flip side, after he scans and is able to make the post, then what I do is I actually file it away where it's organized, where we can then find it when somebody purchases the item off of eBay. Both the front end and the back end of the organizing, it's ever evolving, it's ever changing, so you just have to be flexible. You just have to, like, sometimes we completely undo what we did and I'm just doing it all over again, but I like that kind of stuff. Like, I don't love the fact that we have to redo, but I like to organize, so it doesn't. And
I will say too, it's gonna happen. You're gonna not be able to find something in your inventory, or sometimes, it could be put in the wrong sport with the product, something like that. That stuff is just gonna happen.
Especially with me, because he can just look. He can see a card from across the room, and he can tell me what product it is and who it is, and I'm over here like, flipping from the front to the back, studying every single detail of the card sometimes to make sure I put it in the right place. So, and then even just besides that, sometimes just a card can just get stuck to another card, in penny sleeves.
I was going to say sometimes too, like when picking, like when I've recently just, I don't know, a week or two, she's been picking most of the orders. But when I was picking, sometimes I'll fess up to it. I would go through looking for a card, and then I'd accidentally put some in the wrong section back. So that kind of stuff happens, you know what I mean? So just want to say that it's an imperfect system and organization, but the more organized you can be, the absolute quicker you're going to be able to pick orders, especially as this thing grows. I got some friends and folks that watch this that got 30, 50,000 listings. You need to get organized, right?
Right, and that's another reason why, since I'm the one that files it away pretty much 100% of the time, it's better for me to be the one to pick it too. So every morning I'll just come out here with him. Sometimes at night or over the weekend when it's, multiple days, like every evening we'll come out and just go ahead and pick, especially if there's been a lot that has sold.
What I do is I cast it on the big TV. Someone made jokes about, you need a bigger TV. It's like a 55-inch TV in here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It works out pretty good.
Yeah, so it works for us. And again, this side for sure is ever evolving, because if you sell out of a product and you don't have it anymore, you're going to take that divider out. If you come up with a new product or a new player or something, you know, you're going to create. So this is constantly changing and moving.
It started off, we only had Michael Jordan, because I had probably the most Jordans of any. That has the...
For single player.
For a single player, that has depleted down to, I don't know, don't have a lot of Jordan left. It sells so much. Now we've added in like Trout and like Derek Jeter's got his own, you know, those. So that's
Kobe, Luka. It just depends. If we have enough of one player, and they're
iconic,
right? And for us to feel like it warrants its own section, then we'll do it for a single player. Other than that, it's product and year.
Right.
And we're trying to stay on top of it because, like, literally in the beginning, we had a 3-row box for each sport, like 1 football, 1 basketball. You know,
two or three
when we very first started. In January, the end of December. You know,
mm-hmm.
And so it's like grown, you know, pretty good. And every time we fill up a box, I'm like, hey, I need a bigger box or whatever. So that's always fun. But stay on top of the organization as much as you can early on, because if I had to organize what we have now, like, you know, from the beginning, it would be really difficult and.
So props to people who do it solo, because it's a pretty big job, you know.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time. Some people ask, my full time? Yeah, absolutely full time. It takes, and some days it's 10, 12-hour days, you know, like literally.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll just show kind of one of these. So for our little dividers that we make, I literally just cut out some cardboard.
Out of first class shipping boxes.
Shipping. They're free boxes, and they're thin, so they're really like perfect for this. And then I cut them to the width that I need them, height, and then I'll just put, sometimes I don't have to put the tape on it, but I put tape on it to make a nice clean white space. So we're not spending a lot of money on fancy dividers, and printing things and stickers and all that kind of stuff. We'll scratch it out when we're not using it anymore, and we'll, you know, use the backside for something different, and I'll flip it and use the other side.
Or
retape it. Like,
no reason to spend extra money when you don't need to. So
yeah, so that's our divider system right now, is cardboard and tape and a Sharpie.
Anyway, I think that'll maybe help you guys with some pointers. It, you know, might not be that helpful, but hopefully it is. If it is, be sure to hit the like button on the video. Isn't she beautiful? Subscribe to the channel also, and stay tuned, because we're going to be, like I said, I'll be dropping shipping video on how I ship, and another video on a follow-up on the Epson scanner. Lots and lots of questions about that, and lots of feedback, and so I'll do a follow-up on the Epson scanner pretty soon. So subscribe to the channel, guys. That's all we got. Till next time, doses. But she is the stir that what's that? What was the thing?
The straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah.
And the drink stir.